All right. So I'm hoping that the physics of the wave is such that it keeps me relative to the boat similarly.
Yeah.
So I'm like doggy paddling and whatnot. I'm gonna hang on to my dagger. Are there any spiders like being swept towards me? Like, are they within arm's reach, or are they?
Yeah,
just
one of them's within arm's reach as it swirls through the wave towards you.
All right.
Squealing.
I'm gonna try to poke it in the face.
All right.
Are there any water combat rules? Does it matter?
You're floating in water right now, so we don't need to worry about it.
Okay.
There, you start to reduce die types because of water resistance.
Okay. So I will. I'll just try to attack it with my dagger.
Okay.
I know what I need to do.
What do you need to do?
So that's a 16.
Yeah, that's definitely a hit.
All right. So 16 against the spider. Daggers do 1d4 for 3.
The spider howls out in pain as you make a sharp jab into one side of its shoulder. It goes. Do you pull the barbed hook back out?
Oh, is that how it is?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, of course.
Okay, so you yank the thing back out and immediately do another 1d3 damage.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
Yeah, I didn't even think of it as that. I just thought it was just a descriptor for the +1 crit. For another 2.
Okay. As you rip it back out,
check to make sure this isn't a cheaty dice. 2. Yeah, okay.
Okay. As you rip it back out, you take part of the spider's leg with
just
it,
got 2 of each.
and it squirts out black blood and dies as it sinks down below into the waters.
Okay. So currently there's a wave, right?
Uh-huh.
James is a little bit far away from us.
Yeah,
Right?
he's still relative to the boat, but
How
he's
far is he from the boat?
maybe about like 5 feet.
5 feet? Okay. So I want to
Reel him
do
back in.
2 things. If he's 5 feet away, then I can just use my 10-foot pole to have him grab on, right?
Uh-huh.
True.
The next thing I want to do is I want to cast Enlarge, targeting the wave,
Sure.
to make it a bigger surge of water.
Yeah,
so
roll
we
it.
keep going.
Does that work in DCC?
Yeah.
Wow.
You can target.
Objects and
He's targeted.
effects.
He's targeted a door frame before.
Yeah.
No, door
Right.
frames are actual physical objects, but a wave is not actually
Yeah,
a
it's-
thing. It's actually
Yeah, that's-
He's
that's-
targeting.
effect.
He's targeting that part of the water at that
Okay.
moment. So
It
grows
increases by-
larger. I think it works.
Well, yeah, but a wave is a force traveling through water. If he enlarges like a part of the water, we leave that behind very quickly, and
Yeah.
the wave is going with us. But that,
Rule of cool.
Yeah, that's what I would say.
Okay, fine.
yeah,
I got
I'm
a
down with
19,
it.
so
I mean, I'm not
increases
against it. I'm just
50%.
saying.
No, it's fine.
All right.
Yeah.
This violates real
I mean,
physics for those of you
I
paying
could
attention.
burn
And we're
a
okay
block
with
and bring
that.
it to 20, so then it doubles in size, which would be really cool. But I'd lose my +1 bonus.
Okay. So the wave. How much? 50%.
50%, which still is pretty big.
So the wave grows a lot, and it pushes the boat along more as the dwarves
Yeah.
laugh and roar. You guys actually get pushed
Wait,
along
do
enough.
I have him? I don't
where-
have any minute.
Dadriel, I'm assuming you
What's
grabbed the 10-foot
yeah.
pole. All right. So you
Wait,
grab-
Underdoor's like super happy about like this whole thing.
Yeah.
Wait,
This
I
is
have
fun.
to, I
This is the
have to
fun part.
describe it.
Okay.
So the water's bubbling,
Oh, that's
right?
right.
The bubbles burst into tiny workmen,
Oh, okay.
and they
Now it's creepy.
they reconstruct the water to make it bigger.
Yeah, sure. It's magic.
No, sorry. They try to, but they can't. So they just They just increase the size.
There we go. That makes sense.
I find it very creepy that these tiny bubble Walkmen are like all right. Some of them are in my mouth. They're in my mouth. This is disgusting. It's so terrible.
I'm so
This
sweaty from all the work.
Anyway,
Alley hot dog was so much better than this.
so the boat goes roaring along past parts of the spider webs and stuff, and the spiders all hiss in anger, but seem to draw away from it, deciding they're kind of like, they're moving a little too fast.
We've already killed most of the spiders.
Yeah.
There were 8. There were what, like 2,
Yeah,
3
the
left.
few that are left don't really want to fight, and so you guys get rushed along with the waves, and the girl goes, ah ha ha!
Oh my gosh, do you know how much money you will make by building water parks in dwarven communities all over the world?
We'll make so much money.
Yeah,
Is
dwarves
it-
have never heard of water parks, and now it's like, oh my gosh.
We'll
I mean,
employ the power of the
I did a high
ancestors
roll.
of Stone Door.
Yes.
Normally it'd be like a 10% increase. Wow.
So
That's loud.
That was at just the vibration being
the table.
amplified by the wooden table.
So the wave shoves you guys along, and he goes, ha ha ha, and he's laughing, and he goes, I know why I brought you 3 along! And the wave eventually subsides, and the boat crashes down into the still water and rocks there for a minute, and then stays calm. And Anson and Drothus help Dadriel out of the water.
Hey, that was awesome!
Yeah.
Except for the little guys, that was not awesome. But the rest of it is awesome.
Do you spit a couple of them out?
Oh, are they still in there?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I'm hoping they dissipate once the spell effect is
The
finished.
tiny.
They do.
Okay, because otherwise I would chew them up and eat them.
Last for
Like pop rocks.
Percival is shivering in the front pack, and he's just kind of like, I want to go home. I want to go home, boss. I want to go home.
Let's do it
You're gonna get
again!
lots of gold, buddy.
Do it
It's
again.
gonna be great.
Oh, by the way, now that we know that they're
Awesome.
little balls of clinky gold, I'm gonna be excited to explore the webbing.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, you've been rushed under. That was
Yeah.
high up above, but yeah,
But there's other webbing now, right? That's like
Yeah.
desiccated webbing.
yeah. But it's
I want to be able to pay more attention to the webbing now because now that I suspect there might be other cool coins, I don't want to like bypass it.
okay.
Because
Cool.
we have a free floaty this thing is like, hey, free
Just
floaty
like
this
yeah,
thing.
elevator to free money.
Yeah, I want to have a giant gold coin. This is just like those PAX only exclusive Planeswalker cards. I'm gonna get as many sets as possible.
You're gonna complete like a gold set from each
Yeah.
country.
Well, first of all, I'm super curious if every ball contains the same 7 varieties of gold coins because
Yeah,
that would
that
be
could- that
really
would-
informative.
That could mean
Okay.
something.
What would that mean to you?
Hmm?
What would that mean if that was the case?
That would tell me like that this is not just coins that they took off of bodies that they collected over time, but that there's some meaningful connection.
To the 7 coins.
It would be even
Yeah.
more amazing
Some sort of,
if,
like,
there were
spell
other
conduit.
if there were other scraps
Or-
of spell things that they were all tied together,
Mhm.
that it might have something to do with some kind of communicative, like, giant network that tied all the webbing together.
I see what you mean.
So-
yeah,
Well,
the
anyway.
coins could be the focus for the draconian spells.
Yeah.
That
Anyway, so you get washed over, and as soon as you get washed over to this part, Gergen takes a look at the map with the spray kind of settling down around him. He goes, we should be relatively close to our destination. But Jovan, something is off to you. As soon as the boat
What's
has stopped and come to a standstill, you feel a weight resting upon you. You've never really felt this before in your life, but it feels as if there is some sort of evil presence here. An evil, thick force, and it's heavy like a fog, and it hangs over you. It's as if the reach of your god cannot reach you here. It's been shortened somewhat, and whatever domain you've entered into now belongs to something else, something far more powerful.
my comrades, I feel we've entered enemy territory. I don't
You
feel
think?
I don't feel like I can communicate with my god.
You can
Oh.
communicate with Netro. It just seems to be more distant.
Or he
Can you
he
still-
feels
wait,
more
wait.
distant. I
Can
feel
you still
I feel
heal?
a very close
Okay.
dark force.
Can you still heal?
I'm gonna take a second and pray and see if I can like reach my god.
You can.
I can do that without casting a spell, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
For all intents and purposes, you can probably still cast spells as normal,
Okay.
but the
Okay.
weight is present.
Okay. It looks like I can still cast spells, but there is an evil force and it is close and it is strong.
What I imagine is that when you try to turn something, it'll be much more difficult because your god has much harder time reaching you.
I want to make it clear that that Grio is not like doesn't have affection for his fellow party member, but that his ability to heal is actually quite important.
So
So it's like, wait, you can't heal? Push your other
No,
one.
we haven't had a healer before, so we've done a lot more without a healer.
Plus, if anything, his
true.
his tongue buddy, Drothus?
Thornhild?
Thornhild.
Yeah.
Thornhild.
Would consider this to be like a huge thing, right? It's like, wait, you mean your great god, who is now my great god, is not as present here?
Yeah.
So
So
we are very far from his reach.
Thornhild actually tugs at his beard and convenes with Drothus for a bit, and he goes, "This does feel like a more dangerous place. It's just got a bad feeling about it.
Now, do I feel anything?
Yeah, it's like the sense you get when a cave's about to fall in. No, you don't.
Oh, sweet. I'm fine.
But
Excellent.
Percival is shivering, and it's not just from the cold.
I'm gonna.
Poor kitty.
Does anyone have a towel? Like I'm still wet.
No.
Dude, towels didn't exist until 1854.
That's fake. There's no way you actually know that fact.
That is so not true.
Peter,
It's like-
Look, the only reference of point I have for you to know random trivia facts is you making up the fact that your company has Skynet and that you know when stick figures were invented. Both of which turned out to be lies.
I still can't believe you fell for the stick figures.
yes, that like the stick figures thing is just ridiculous.
The Skynet?
maybe.
Anyway,
Okay, so first of all, one, no, we don't have a towel.
No, Thorhild takes out a towel and dries
No,
me,
no, no,
and
no,
I
no.
dry myself off.
no.
No, but no, in
Well, he takes out a cloak and I dry myself
no,
off.
basically
Yeah.
people just
takes
wipe
out
them off and
anything.
they're like, because
Yeah.
like your armor
Sometimes
has probably
sopping
like
wet,
a
so
what's
Yeah.
that thing like when you play with a tabard or something that you just wipe it on your. That's why people's stuff is always so dirty.
Yeah.
Oh, but the real question is, psionics. Is it just like real magic, or do we think, oh my god, what does this guy just do?
I mean, you
Like,
don't
are
know
we
how spells
freaking out?
work in general.
Okay.
So all you
there's no like visual
No, there's
aspect
not.
or anything.
So
like
all
that.
you assume at this point is that Thorhild is some sort of wizard.
Okay, so he just has a different kind of magic.
And
that,
to be honest, for all his other dwarven companions know, in fact, probably for all he knows, he is some sort of wizard.
okay, so it's not like something where we're freaking out that
Yeah,
he's
it's,
got this
I mean,
whole
it's like, you know, I'm kind of like clothing
sure,
related with my magic.
and he's
You
like
could just
brain
be
related.
mental related.
Okay. All right, I just want to make sure it's not one of those things where like we're freaking out and it's like, oh
No,
my gosh,
No,
you're
it doesn't. I mean,
Right.
it doesn't weird you out any more than
his magic.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Bringing a wardrobe into existence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So Gurgen looks at the map and he goes, "All right. According to this, we need to head northward a bit."
What do you
I'm
think?
gonna take out my compass and
Well, the dwarves know the way around, but
very good.
Well,
as
do they feel that the closer they get to this, the more suppressed their powers will become?
But as for this, what direction the dwarves are pointing,
Mhm.
you feel as if it's a little safer and it's heading
Oh,
away
okay.
from the pressure.
Okay, good.
Oh, okay. Yeah. If
All right.
yeah. If Jovan feels like, because I don't want to
It-
be
it
in the
does-
heart of the beast all of a sudden, and it's like,
Yeah, it feels like there's less pressure this way.
all right.
So they
Are
take
there any other spider balls for me to check out between here and or where we were and getting to this point?
roll make a luck roll. Roll under. So the dwarves continue to row on as you look for those.
5.
Nice.
Much
you did it.
under.
Yes. So yeah, you find 4 more balls strung up along parts
Holy
of the
moly.
cavern wall.
Okay, and in each case, I'm gonna hope the party will be willing to pause for me to go out and like.
Sure. So you want to gather all
Yeah.
4 of them?
I mean, it is gold. Like
Yes.
the dwarves
And
can't
it
be
is still
against, the
gold.
dwarves can't be against it.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I'm hopeful that they're more than just gold. That they might have collectible value. That if we just end up selling them, it will be more profitable.
Yeah,
Perhaps.
but we'll have to like get in touch with the right people who know who can access that market.
You're Jovan. You know all the right people.
So you.
I'm sure you.
I don't know any people in Lear.
Yeah, you gotta start cutting hair.
Yet.
Yeah.
So you
Open up a barbershop.
you want to open
Yeah, I'll
all
open
4
up
of
a
them?
barbershop.
Doulahan
A barber
and
shop.
barbershop.
Beer, hair, and God.
Yeah, beer, hair, and
Oh,
that's
look
right.
at that.
Doulahan. The Doulahan barbershop. Lose your hair, not your head.
Ooh, I like that. We can change the symbol. Oh my gosh, I can't wait to Headless come back. It's like, yeah, it turns out the bar parts I was saying that now it's a gamer bar and haircut place.
A
Oh,
gamer bar?
and there's a tattoo parlor in the back.
Oh, also it turns into a gay bar on Wednesday nights.
Yes, that's right. I forgot about that.
Anyway, so you want to open all 4 of the globes?
Yes.
Okay. Let's see what you get.
Oh, maybe some of them have like weird things. Oh, this is like opening a Kinder Egg or those things. Like, what's the toy surprise? Like,
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
So
this one has
you,
a what
you carve open 2 of the globes, and there seems to be just shiny bits of trinkets and junk, like old goblets, pieces of silverware that's been rusted over with time, bits and baubles of old worn rings and broken down like candelabras and stuff like that,
Okay.
compiled together. However, the other 2 globes contain 2 rubies, shining, glittering, golden, beautiful rubies, and the other one contains an emerald and a shining amethyst.
One emerald and one amethyst.
Yeah.
So it appears that the commonality is that they're shiny baubles.
Yeah,
and
they're
not
shiny
that
They're
there's-
magpie spider people.
Yeah. And amethyst. The good thing about this
That's surprising.
that is particularly interesting is that it suggests something about the spiders that they're not like hyper intelligent or something, that they're more like animalistic. Because otherwise, I'd be more worried that it's like, wait, they're spell eating spiders. Like, good
Yeah,
god.
probably operating merely on instinct.
Yeah, I was worried that they steal your spell and then they would be able to cast that.
Yeah,
that was
I
what was
thought
gonna
I thought
happen.
Yeah.
you rolling for the spell was him casting the spell on you or something,
Yeah, that's what I thought. Well,
or casting a spell.
Casting the
We'll
spell
have to
himself.
wait and see.
Yeah.
That would be really cool.
All right.
Maybe didn't get a chance to.
So Dadriel gathers the globes down and begins cutting into them and stuff.
Yep.
And in the meantime, the dwarves paddle on. And eventually, the blue glow from the mushrooms comes back again as you reach a rather substantial island. The island mass is large, and you can see that it was obviously at one point. It's not a natural landmass. The island is actually a building partially submerged in the water. And rising up out of the building, rising up out of the water, you can see a long 45-degree angle staircase that goes up, leading up towards a large column-like tower with a dome on top of it, similar to a Persian dome kind of thing on top of it. Two other thin towers stand off to either side of that with globes on top of them.
It's a penis.
It's not a penis. And
You just described one.
and bridges going off to either, and walkways extending from
Don't
the
draw
Oh,
it.
there are other towers.
I can visualize
It's
it
three
already.
towers.
and walkways
Two
extending
smaller
from the main
ones
one
with domes
through the
at the
walkways
top.
off to the other one.
And one long one in the middle.
This is
You
historically
just described
accurate
it.
architecture. Anyway,
A lot of architecture is penis, actually, so
true.
that's not,
Yeah,
not
it
that
really
surprising.
is.
So the water
Pretty great.
itself actually bumps up right along the edge of the stairwell. So it's like the water and
The stair goes right down to the water.
Yeah, stairwell goes right down to the water.
So now that we've traveled this distance and we've seen this, do we have a slight sense of the original geography of the city? Like how deep it would have gone? Like is it a city built on the side of a hill? Or
Right.
is the water like, oh, it's 3 stories deep? You know, that kind of thing.
So you get the sense that this was probably in its prime some sort of a flatter city.
Okay.
Far cry from the various hills and risen vineyards of Maciatica above. It also seems that most of the other buildings were crude and demure. Is that the right word? I don't know. Crude and impractical in comparison to this massive palace you see before you.
Gotcha.
As you row closer to it, the dwarves look up to it in awe, and Gergen goes, "There it is. According to the map, this is the Horde of Othi."
What a who?
Othi.
Othi?
Othi.
Interesting. Very interesting.
This
Write that
tower is the
down.
Horde of Othi?
Well,
Well,
the
in the
Horde's
tower.
inside. At least, that's what the X suggests to me, anyway.
So at this point, I feel that perhaps I should ask, who is this Othi?
We don't know.
Oh.
The name is just written on the map. It's written in the common language. Perhaps an old thief got a hold of some knowledge and was planning to make an expedition, and then the map got lost and stored in the tomb where we found it. I don't know.
Interesting.
My friend, didn't you at some point intimate that dragons are immortal? What is this Othi as a dragon?
I don't think I ever inferenced dragons being immortal. But I do know.
It was never declared that dragons were immortal. Legends you've heard of dragons always speak of them as being horrible beasts with widely varying abilities. Definitely not
They live for a
defined by
really long
color
time,
of
though,
skin.
right?
They do live for a long time.
What? We've only heard legends of dragons.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
since they're
okay,
only
so-
legends and tales,
So
there's
people
not
aren't
much we
sure
can
that
get from
dragons
reality.
exist. Then.
Well,
I mean,
Yeah.
in this world, we can kind of assume that tales came from reality at some point. You know,
Quit.
Well, I mean,
Quis,
there's
the
no way
demon
you
monarch,
learned
which
Draconian.
most warlocks and cultists know about, takes on the form of a dragon
Yeah.
or a great serpent. So that kind of makes sense that they would exist, but like you've never actually seen one.
Also,
yourselves.
I can't help
sure.
but feel that, number one, our good colleagues here have sensed a dark oppressive presence, and number two, we recently released an immortal being from a casket.
It's Spanish.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
it's
the idea that
semi-immortal,
someone
I'd
named
say.
Othi has a horde named after him, I'm not exactly certain that this is simply an abandoned horde that no one is like, hey, why are you touching my stuff?
The dwarves look back and forth to each other. Well, it couldn't be a dragon, could it? I mean, that'd be crazy. I mean, imagine if there was a dragon living underneath Lier. Wouldn't that cause problems for the people above?
In the
Well, not if
stories,
it was
in the stories,
in
all-
slumber.
Yeah, in the stories, they might be. It might be in torpor.
I guess we did see a serpent go through the rocks on our way down here.
Well, I
Are you
mean,
telling me that you have not considered any of this before you dragged us down here?
Well, I mean, it was underground. It was a horde. We figured it'd be safe enough.
there's no.
Did you
evidence-
really think it was that going to be that easy?
There's
Well,
no-
I mean-
there's nothing
we-
suggesting it's a dragon.
Yeah, we didn't think a dragon would be guarding it. I mean, it's
just
an
a
old
horde.
map.
We definitely came prepared. We have a sizable party. Let's
What makes you
just
think it's a
proceed
dragon?
carefully
In all the stories, hordes and dragons are like no one.
synonymous. Yeah.
No one
It's
ever
true.
says, "Oh, it's
In
the
most of
horde
the stories, dragons and hordes are directly correlated.
Uh-oh.
A dragon is often never found without a horde.
So from that we know logically that every dragon has a horde. That does not mean every horde has a dragon.
That's true.
This is true.
That's
However,
true.
whenever there are hordes, I worry they're dragons because no one's ever said, "Oh, this is the great horde of Euthalia, the bunny rabbit."
Oh, and there's also some sort of weird symbol drawn onto this map. He flips it, and Gergen flips it back around.
I bet it's the same symbol.
Let me look at
Is
it.
it the cleric symbol?
I like how they show these things only at the last possible one. That they're like an NSA strike.
Oh, hey,
team
you
or
might
something.
be able to know this.
Well, they're
Could've
thinking.
taken a
Well, for one
shortcut.
thing, they didn't know you were a wizard until you cast the word Jovan when they were starting the climb. It wasn't a good time to talk to you about it. Now that we're actually here at the location and you haven't died getting here, they're like, maybe this is a good time to talk.
And I just showed him that cool surfing trick.
Well,
Yeah,
this
exactly.
is where we make our final preparations.
Oh, that's
this is part of
true.
that.
Is it true that now that we've done the water park effect, the doors now love us a lot more? Like we've laughed
Well,
together.
I mean, they're definitely more.
They love me a
Yeah,
lot
they're definitely a
more.
little more trusting
Because
of
I'm the
Merek.
one that drank with them. I'm buddies with Drothis after trying to learn his rope things, and then I've done two really
I've-
cool magic things with them.
No,
I healed Thor
I
Hell.
must be fucking Gandalf to these dwarves.
No.
New
Not quite
Gandalf,
that,
because
though.
old Gandalf was useless.
Yep.
What are you talking? Yeah, all right. Anyway, the symbol on the back of the map looks like this.
Oh, it's a smiley face with like a weird headdress.
It's oriented the other way.
It's a sad face.
It's the scales of justice with an arrow and a...
Wait.
It looks
know it.
nothing like any symbol you've seen before.
Yeah, that's very complicated.
Remember when we were in the Temple of the Paradigms?
Yeah.
And you said there were these guys with masks?
Mm-hmm.
Did the mask face look like
No,
this?
not similar at all. I mean, okay, yes, it was two slits and a hole,
Yeah.
but it doesn't look. I mean, maybe there's some resemblance.
Okay.
But it's not close enough to the point where you
Okay.
go.
It's like that
Wait a minute.
coincidental face-like thing, but
Yeah.
it's not like, okay. I don't suppose anyone got a close enough look at the spider rune to know if it was even remotely similar to this.
You did. It wasn't.
Okay. And this is the rune that marks the horde location?
It's on the back of the map.
Oh, so the whole map it's sort of like a stamp that says,
Yeah.
map of this or
Could be.
whatever.
Could be the map maker. Could mean something else.
Maybe it's just a stylized
Does-
symbol pointing north.
So
So-
is it like they said where the X was clearly put on after the map was made?
Yeah. Well,
Like if
the map was drawn, and then the X was put on while it was drawn. It's a treasure map.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
the X was drawn into the map when it was made.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So, Gergen looks down at the map a bit and studies it for a bit more, and he goes, "Yeah, this has to be the place. I guess we're climbing these stairs." And they hop out of the boat, and Gergen goes, "Drothis, tie the boat up to the stairs." And Drothis nods and gets out more rope and starts tying it.
Oh, really? He's not going to fold it back
I'm
and
gonna
put it in his
fold it up.
pocket?
And, I don't know, maybe they're hoping to make a quick escape? I don't
Okay.
know. Oh, I guess that would make more sense. Alright, yeah, they just fold it back up.
Uh,
And Anson hangs on to it then.
nice.